Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I don't know about you, but I'm always looking for interesting ways to add flavor to seasonal vegetables. And cabbage, white cabbage specifically, is one of them that I often think about. Now, cabbage on its own isn't the tastiest or most exciting of vegetables, but it is a brilliant flavor sponge for spices. So I love popping it in this dal, which comes to life with a hint of sweetness, with a hint of sour from the tamarind, a bit of chilies, and just so much joy. I also love the fact that you can combine a vegetable with a lentil to get a one-pot meal. So if that sounds good to you, please don't forget to hit the like or subscribe button, tell all your friends about me, and then let's get cooking. I've got a small white cabbage here. I'm just going to cut off the base so you can have a nice flat bit for it to sit on, and then cut it in half, and you'll see that it has this core. I'll show you what I do with the core. I literally cut it into a quarter and then slice it off like a triangle. You may have a better way, in which case, please do let me know. Once you've removed that hard core, all we're going to do is chop that very roughly into pieces. Pieces don't need to be tiny, they don't need to be even, and that's because you'll see in a minute that they just melt into the lentils. When that whole cabbage is done, pop it into a colander or a sieve and just give it a good rinse. You want to make sure there's no sort of dirt or grime in it. Then in a pan, wash a cup of yellow mung lentils. Usual rules apply. Cold water, lots of gently moving around and then draining until the water runs clear like this. We're then going to set those lentils to bubble. So whack the heat up and bring it to a boil. You'll notice as the lentils start boiling that it gives off this foam and scum, which you just want to scoop up like that and then get rid of. And then the foam and scum will reduce in quantity. And when it's almost all gone, we're going to add a teaspoon of turmeric. A quick note on turmeric, please use very high quality organic turmeric. You get much better color, much more robust flavor. It's also better for you because it's been grown without any pesticides or chemicals. So there you go, that's the end of my TED Talk. You'll want the lentils to be almost half cooked. So give it about 10 to 15 minutes of cooking before you tip in the chopped cabbage. Adding vegetables to lentils like this, if you do it too early, it actually slows down the cooking of the lentils. So you want to make sure they've had enough time on their own before you incorporate any other ingredients or vegetables to them. Now just dunk that in the best you can. You can top with more hot water here as well. You want that cabbage a little bit submerged in the water, hot water always, so you don't slow down cooking. Then cover and just let it bubble again. This will take a good 25 minutes or so in total. The cabbage will be completely submerged and it will look like a soup in texture. That's when we're going to add in some jaggery. I'm also going to add in some fresh ginger here. I love adding ginger a little bit later to preserve all its wonderful flavor and warmth. And you can see now that the cabbage has really melted into the lentils. So add hot water to get this to the consistency you'd like. I wanted this dal a little bit runny because I'm having it with rice, but it's entirely up to you. Now is a good time to add some tamarind. I have ready paste that already has salt and sugar in it, so I'm mixing 2 teaspoons of that in, but this is entirely up to you depending on your taste and preference. And the same for salt, entirely over to you for your preference. Set the dal on the side on a cold hob and let's get cracking now with the tadka or tempering. So I've got 1.5 tablespoons of ghee, half a teaspoon of asafoetida. That's going to bring lovely warmth to the lentils and also help you digest that cabbage. Add 4 whole dried red chilies in that hot oil. Give the pan a little shake to just help it sizzle evenly. Then we're going to add anywhere between half a teaspoon and a teaspoon of chili powder. I've been a little bit gentle because my kids are going to have this with me, and I'm already going to have to try and get cabbage down their throats. So a little half a teaspoon of chili powder, and then we're going to add a teaspoon each of mustard seeds and cumin seeds. So in that goes, and it will sizzle up nicely for you here. You have to work quickly because otherwise the whole thing will burn. And remember, medium heat only. You don't want this too high. Now pour that tadka over that gorgeous dal. Look at that steaming, beautiful pot of loveliness. And I've obviously made enough to feed an army. There's just 3 of us here. But stir it nicely in together. Remember my little tip as well. You pop a little bit of dal into the pan, scoop up every remaining bit of tadka and make sure you stir that into the lentils. There you go. Now to serve it up. I've had this as a soup before as well, if I'm honest with you, but I do like it with rice. So over to you how you'd like to enjoy this. Now all I have to do is give it a bit of a taste. So I'm happy with the result. It smells incredible, let me tell you. This is that brown rice I made earlier. If you haven't seen my video on how to make perfectly fluffy brown rice, please do check it out. It might help you switch to a slightly more healthy alternative to white rice on special occasions. I do love my white rice, don't get me wrong. Now I can tell you, having tasted this, that it was utterly delicious and the kids loved it too. Hope you enjoyed this and see you again soon for another recipe.